They want to keep pushing and pushing to a point where eventually a man will break. Actually, we the people will break. How many journalists, how many people within cities have to be tortured, pummeled, beaten, broken, until just too much? Well, it appears now we've hit that point. You see, with all the successes that President Trump has already realized yesterday, amongst one of the biggest successes you could ever realize, something else happened. Well, don't worry, the mainstream media won't dare report it, because it changes everything instantaneously. One of the most genius maneuvers ever. And it affects us here in the continental United States of America. Everything they feared about President Trump just became a reality. And that's the story I'll bring you in just a few seconds. So what changes all the headlines? Texas National Guard on ground in Chicago. Let's go further. Legal showdowns loom for Oregon and Illinois as National Guard troops deploy in Chicago area. Texas troops in Illinois spark new showdown between Abbott and Pritzker. What changes all of that? In a second. What Trump did yesterday. What he just spoke about yesterday. One legal maneuver. I've talked about it before. Wait till I give you the definition of what the legality of this change will be. Because all of these headlines go away. Actually, a lot of people will be found to be aiding and abetting something that they're no longer going to want to be really involved in. Because due process goes away. Because that constitutional protection that they're hiding behind goes away. Oh, I know. Just wait until you learn all about it. But a few other headlines we got to cover first, because James Comey pled not guilty. You shouldn't be shocked by that headline. The other thing I was disappointed in by our system is that while so many other folks got perp walked, James Comey got the white glove treatment. Do I feel that's just? No, I don't. How many arrests have we seen thus far? But on the other side of the coin, how many arrests did we receive? Just not fair and equitable now, is it? But nothing is. One party, granted, maybe we're just kinder. We know we are, right? One side of the political spectrum, I won't say aisle because I don't believe there's two sides of the aisle, is a much kinder political spectrum. Versus another side that's a little bit more berating. We covered Katie Porter yesterday. There's text out there where she's been shown to lash out multiple times over. I'm a United States Congresswoman. You can lecture me on professionalism and see what happens. This in 2021. Moving forward to, as I covered yesterday, scalding her ex-husband with mashed potatoes. Moving forward to the interview yesterday where she just decided, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to stop this interview.
To win, and you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You know, doesn't appear to be one of the kindest people. You know, I've never met her personally, so I don't want to pass judgment. I can only go off of evidence. And there appears to be more and more evidence of what's happening. Now this clip comes out and goes viral immediately, because if things weren't bad enough for Katie Porter running in California, wants to take out Newsom, this comes out.
That we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shop before that.
Narcissist much? Just saying. Just asking for a friend. Oh my gosh, her campaign is going down in flames, and it's so amazing to watch, but it's just what the Democrats do. When caught, they just simply are mean. It's just their nature. It is who they are from top to bottom.
And abused.
You're not going to talk to
wasted
me. You're not going to talk to me
fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't
getting
want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm
So
listening.
why don't
Go
you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you
is
showed
that-
up.
is that the way to
you
talk?
showed up.
Who dollar store Obama getting mean. Everybody better watch out, because he ain't going to accept this anymore. But I'm just having a little fun because the story's about to get real serious here. Real serious. Because if you don't have a little fun with the news, you don't show who these folks actually are, then you're going to start taking politics a little bit too seriously. And you're also not going to put it in the proper perspective to realize exactly how dangerous it is. Because politics is also dangerous. Because these folks hide, and they don't show you who they really are. Well, what I do here is I show you who they really are. And before I go on break, I was going to take a break here, but we're going to one more thing to show you who they really are. Because this leads into the main story. Because I'm no fan of Mayor Brandon Johnson, right? This came out, a Nicaraguan migrant, high on cocaine, targets a woman on the north side, knocks her unconscious, rapes her in an alley. Judge calls him a threat to all females. So a very brave reporter, you see the brave reporter there on the right side of your screen, he is there with Mayor Brandon Johnson, and he asks him a question. If you asked me this question about my wife, my reaction would be much different. A, you and I are going to have a lot more than words. B, I would have answered your question, and then we would have had a lot more than words for disrespecting me and my wife. But nonetheless, a real man would have given an answer and a reaction. But watch what Mayor Brandon Johnson does.
An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her. If that had been your wife, Stacy, would you want ICE to deport her, to deport that illegal alien? Yes or no? Answer the question as a man, not as mayor, but as a man. Would you want ICE to deport that rapist? No? Okay.
Mayor.
That's the answer. That's the answer for real Chicagoans.
Mayor, sorry for being late to traffic's bad. Maybe the Fed's gonna help.
You're not blaming me for the traffic, are you?
Makes a joke. Doesn't answer the question. Just so everybody in Chicago who didn't see that clip realizes exactly who your mayor is. Now, I'm not going to let Mayor Brandon Johnson off the hook ever. But he's about to find out what Trump's proposing now. It's going to change the face of everything from Boston to Chicago to LA to Portland instantaneously. And these mayors and governors will be able to do nothing about it. Nothing. Well, if you didn't catch it yesterday, I've discussed it before. Because they're about to take, and Trump is about to take, the legal table and turn it upside down. And any authority that they believe they have is gone instantaneously. Oh, I can't wait to tell you about it. I am so excited about this. But before I do, I want to thank all of you again for helping to make this channel such a success by doing some simple things for me. Helping me to beat the algorithm by making sure your bell is checked to all so you're actually alerted to when I put up a new broadcast. What a novel thought, huh? For all the new people who've joined me here, for all the new subscribers, thank you so much. Welcome home. For those of you who have joined as members, that's an amazing way to support the channel. For those of you who can't and don't have the means, that's fine, I understand. By putting a comment, by sharing the video. Man, that truly helps the public platforms know this news matters. And what I try to do is just simply provide something that is like you and I talking across the dining room table. Nothing pompous, no circumstance, just simply well-researched, foundational news based on fact in the most plain and simple style we can present it. And it's obviously resonating because the channel's exploding. And thank you to each and every one of you who support it. And those of you who have moved over to restrictedrepublic.com, where I extend this podcast as often as I can. And we provide exclusive content almost daily. That's our news platform we own. And I love all of you who've joined us there. Our news network there is absolutely also exploded. And thank you for that, for joining us there. Commercial free. No interruptions, because it's audience-funded news the way it was meant to be. And I also want to give a special thanks. Yesterday, this took off. And why? Because it is, just so you know, it's Medicare enrollment period. It's coming up. It's October 15th to December 7th. Why is that significant? And why is Chapter significant? They helped me to bring you this video today. Because they're free. It's a free phone call. 805-619-5011. What are they? They're licensed Medicare professionals. During this time of year, seniors get absolutely bombarded with robocallers, mailers. And why? Because it's open enrollment now. Medicare annual enrollment. Again, October 15th to December 7th. How do you get through all the options? Some things just disappear this time of year. Some of the plans just go away. They change every single year. Well, Chapter are the experts in this. And by calling and making a free phone call, in under 20 minutes, they can help choose for you and show you all the options as to what the best plan is. And if you don't check, even if you think you have the best plan right now, you can lose your doctors or you can end up overpaying. So what's a free phone call hurt? Most agents, they're designed to just steer you to the plan that makes them the most money. That is not what Chapter does. They find the best plan for you. They're just designed different. The average person who calls them saves $1,100 a year. And remember, they can review all these plans for you in under 20 minutes. That is how their system's designed, and you're talking to a live person. If you're already on the best plan, they'll tell you that. If not, they'll help you switch. But remember, don't wait till the last minute. Call today so you can enjoy the rest of the year with peace of mind that you are in the best Medicare plan. That enrollment period, October 15th to December 7th. That phone number, 805-619-5011. That cost, $0. If you think you got the best plan, maybe you do. Let them tell you that. If they find out you don't, they're going to help put money in your pocket. I don't see how this isn't a win-win by calling that phone number. Give Chapter a call today. But now let's get back to this broadcast. Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit more serious here. Because mayors around the country, like Mayor Wu in Boston, right? She's going to attend the No Kings rally on October 18th. She's proud to announce that. Oh, that's current. Don't worry, that's a current article. Just written yesterday. While her city, overnight, is an absolute protest. Because people were celebrating the attacks that happened in Israel. Seriously. And officers ended up, well, in the hospital. Broken bones. All over the streets. Another night of violence against police in Boston. Our officers were attacked, assaulted, and sent to hospital with injuries. They're putting that mildly. How many arrests? Oh, there's a litany of people arrested overnight. Streets blocked, fireworks fired at police vehicles. You see, when you attend rallies and you support these protests, this is what you get. You get actions against police. You get cars burning. You see, this isn't stopping. And it's not acceptable. But now, of course, the mayor, she condemns attacks on police. It's not only there. It's not only Boston. We've talked about Chicago. We've talked about Portland. And we're going to come back to Portland because this is all about, well, what was a domestic terrorist organization that Trump deemed it to be ANTIFA, right? They're one of the primary drivers of so much of this. But you see, well, the Democrats are out there being angry, malicious. Their cities are literally, as I showed you, burning. President Trump negotiated one of the biggest peace deals in history. Right before the Nobel Peace Prize is to be announced, mind you. Credit? Oh, he deserves every inch of credit that is deserved him. But in the middle of announcing something so monumental, so monumental. And that's not even why he was there. You see, at this round table, he was with journalists that were attacked in Portland. This is where the interruption happened to announce that peace deal had moved forward.
Criminal conspiracy.
Okay. I'm just given. Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly. So I will take a couple of more questions.
How historic to see that, huh? How historic. How proud of a moment for this country, brought to you by President Donald J. Trump. I'm very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off in the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon. Historic moment to actually be able to broadcast to you on. I am proud to be able to. And Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. Actually gives me chills, knowing that this moment in time for each and every one of us, how many years this has been in the making. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great deal for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, I always mispronounce it, I know. Egypt and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. President Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. But that's not why he was there. That was just history. No, he was there to address this. As the flag burned in Portland, he was there with the journalists who were arrested in Portland. Because what you have there is Antifa. Nick Sorter had recorded this, the flag burning in the background. I'm going to lower the volume down for a moment. And that flag in particular was brought to President Trump by Nick Sorter.
You mentioned that flag. So remember, you put out a truth right after
That's right. I saw that.
took this flag from that man that was burning it in the street.
Do you know who he is?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who it is.
So why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General, and let's start prosecutions.
Let's start prosecutions, but more to this story, right? Because Kristi Noem has reported that Portland police were cheering on Antifa. We know the courts had blocked the National Guard from going into Portland. Now, allegedly, another judge is somewhat allowing it, but this has been a court battle, right? President Trump's authority is somewhat limited in his capacity of what he can do to react to a domestic terrorist organization. A lot of people believe he has a little bit more authority than he does. He has a lot of authority on federal grounds. But once you cross outside those federal grounds, it becomes a little bit more gray, and we've seen that. And because of that grayness, there's a lot of tension and a lot of danger for our ICE officials simply trying to act on President Trump's authority. And I've reported on this. So we have to give a little bit of definition of what would change that. He designated Antifa a domestic terrorist organization until yesterday. You see, yesterday, and I told you there needed to be a separate delineation made. And out came this.
Are you going to work with your administration as the Secretary of State's here? Are you going to work with your administration to designate it a foreign terror organization?
You mean a terror?
Antifa? A foreign terror organization.
Well, has that been done? Pretty close, right? Would you like to see it done?
Yes, Mr. President.
You think it would help?
They have foreign links
I'd be glad
all
to
across
do it.
Western
I think it's
Europe.
the kind of thing I'd like to do. If you'd like, does
Middle
everybody
East.
agree? If you agree, I agree. Let's get it done. Okay? Let's get it done. Marco, we'll take care of it.
Mr. President.
That's international, you mean?
Yes.
Now, he did something very, very smart there. He changed the word foreign to international. So he played coy there for a moment. Oh, you mean international terrorist organization, right? Oh yeah, sounds like a good idea. Oh, he knew exactly what he did there. And I'm going to show you why he knew exactly what he did there. It continues for just a few seconds.
Sounds good to me. Steve, are you okay with it?
Yes, it's true. There are extensive foreign ties, and I think that would be a very valid step to take.
Good, I think so too.
Yes.
Stephen Miller, there are extensive foreign ties that would be valid because there is extensive foreign ties. International terrorist organization, very well coordinated. And why? This is more important than ever. Antifa is not a domestic terrorist organization. It is a foreign and international terrorist organization which changes the law entirely. It takes this umbrella of constitutional protection and shreds it up. Because the constitutional protection no longer exists under an international foreign terrorist designation. Let's do this. Oh, I know you're hearing my voice, don't you? I'm attempting to remain moderated. But under domestic terrorist designation, the president's powers were somewhat limited because a domestic terrorist organization remains under constitutional protection, which limits the president's ability to act. He prohibits the use of U.S. military for domestic law enforcement, hence the National Guard tensions you're seeing. The Insurrection Act really can't be used as easily as President Trump says it can. It allows limited use of the military inside the U.S. to restore order when civil authorities are overwhelmed, and it would be gray and it would be mired up in courts. And, well, as a matter of fact, didn't Trump just say something? That's right. President Trump inches closer to invoking Insurrection Act, but he hasn't done it, and people are scratching their head. Why? Because he knows the law. They know the law. They ain't stupid. These things take time. But I digress. Defines domestic terrorism, but does not create a standalone charge. Law enforcement must use existing criminal statutes. The FBI, under the DOJ, investigating domestic terrorism, everything must go through U.S. courts. You must file. The courts must approve everything. You see, it's a lengthy process. It's hard to get anything done. Must act through law enforcement, not military. Can direct DOJ and DHS to prioritize certain threats or open investigations. Well, what's the difference between a domestic terrorist designation, which is, the bottom line, the president cannot unilaterally use military or lethal force against domestic groups. Action must go through the judicial process and law enforcement, hence why all this has been in court. Until you designate it an international terrorist organization, which is very well defined in U.S. law. Hence, why Trump, playing coy, changed the word foreign to international when he addressed Stephen Miller. When the target is foreign or international, the president's authority is much broader and more direct. Hey, Mayor Brandon Johnson, J.D. Pritzker, Portland, Boston, you listening? I want you to give you a little learning lesson here, folks, because you're really not going to like what this says. This is going to bother you because this means you better move out of the way. Because if and when they designate Antifa an international terrorist organization, and they already have the right to get rid of those here illegally in the United States, and Antifa shows up at the protests trying to stop all of this, well, wow. President Trump pretty much will have all the authority he needs to do whatever he needs to do. So, international terrorist organization. As commander-in-chief, the president can use military force abroad to protect U.S. citizens. Abroad. Don't worry, we'll bring it back home. Under AUMF 2001, passed after 9/11, this gives the president the power to use all necessary and appropriate force against those responsible for attacks and associated forces here. Allows the president through Treasury and State to designate foreign terrorist organizations and freeze their assets here. Grants covert action and intelligence gathering against any foreign threat here. He requires reporting to Congress, but allows short-term military action abroad without pre-approval. He can target individuals without judicial warrants here. Coordinate with foreign governments or act unilaterally abroad, no congressional approval needed. And use lethal force preemptively if justified as part of an ongoing armed conflict or self-defense here. Ooh. He doesn't need his approval. And this doesn't go through the U.S. court system. Wow, that changes the landscape a little bit. Bottom line, the president has quasi-war powers against international terror groups because they are treated as enemy combatants, not criminal defendants. Antifa. I know you like those black outfits and masks, and I know you love torturing our ICE officials on the ground, and sounds like you like boxing them in and all that good stuff, huh? When President Trump pulls this trigger and designates you an international terrorist organization, well, the rules on the ground are going to change a little bit. I don't know if there's a handbook for this for you folks, so you may want to reach out to those who are hiding in foreign countries, who are your quasi-leaders, and who ran from the United States because they wanted to go duck and cover somewhere else other than here. And you might want to ask them for a revised handbook on exactly how to deal with this, because I don't think one exists. Because under the Biden administration, you were allowed to do pretty much whatever the hell you wanted to do. As a matter of fact, you were trucked in bricks and everything, just giving you all the tools you needed. But now, wow. Oh, and by the way, just so you understand, this also gives Trump the right to invoke the Insurrection Act almost immediately. The Insurrection Act of 1807 allows the president to use federal military force, including active duty troops and National Guard, inside the United States. Not so easy when it deals with domestic terrorist organizations. However, it can be used against international terrorist organizations if the international terrorist organization, this is gold right here, just so you all know what's going on here. Why? Look at the bottom. If an international terrorist organization, let me get my John Madden going here. I think this is so important. Make sure I got everything staged right. I do. Great. If an international terrorist organization operating or coordinated violence on U.S. soil, and those actions overwhelm state or local police or threaten the stability or enforcement of U.S. law, the president can invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy military force domestically. Oh my gosh. Oh, no way. Is it possibly true that what President Trump just did was, Could somebody send that to Mayor Brandon Johnson for me real quick, and J.D. Pritzker and Portland, because I don't think they understand what just happened. I'd be happy. It's just an educational seminar. Ooh. Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also. Maybe there's a reason why President Trump said all that. Maybe there's a reason why he changed it from saying foreign to international. Maybe there's a reason that question was asked. Maybe there's a reason Stephen Miller was so quick to respond. Maybe there's a reason why he's been acting to do so. Maybe there was a reason why it's all about to change. You see, Antifa has been acting unimpeded within the great republic of the United States of America far too long. And dark money NGOs have been funding them for far too long. And anybody, I don't care what side, if you want to consider two sides of the aisle, Democrat or Republican, deserves safety, peace, tranquility in the cities that we live. It's guaranteed to us by our Constitution. And anyone who is part of an international terrorist organization that impedes on that peace and tranquility, it is the job of the President of the United States of America to assure that that's not allowed. And I have a feeling within a short number of days, if not hours, their world is about to change. And all these talking points from the mainstream media and all these mayors evaporate within seconds. And I hope I'm the first one to bring it to you. Share this video, please. People need to wake up to what just happened. I love you all. Until next time. And if you love what I'm doing here, show me the support. Give me the subscribe if I earned it. Give me the membership here if I earned it. And if I really earned your respect, get over to restrictedrepublic.com for me. Join my family and Lisa's family there. We worked hard for that platform. It would mean the world to us. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.